They definitely seem to have locked that down in real evidentiary terms that it's all Donald Trump. That's how this happened. Couldn't have happened without him ramping it up over weeks and weeks, and then everything he did that day, including that permit point that Stacey Plaskett makes. It seems like a small thing, but when the Trump team gets involved, suddenly they've decided, Donald Trump decides, he's going to rewrite that permit right on the spot and tell them to go up there. And Neil, what about that in the minds of those people going up to the Capitol when you see how much direct authorization they thought they were getting from the President of the United States? And they think he's in charge of everything. They think he's in charge of that building. They think he can authorize their entry to it. That they had so much encouragement from him that for many of them might well have felt like legal encouragement.
That's exactly right, Lawrence. I mean, up until today, I've been thinking this is much more a case about omission, about the president not doing stuff, not condemning violence. And today, I think we really saw, hey, this is an affirmative case of commission, too. That's, of course, not needed for impeachment because omission, when you're the president, is obviously enough. You know, you have a duty and you take an oath to protect the people of the United States, and omissions count just as much for impeachment. But here's how it is relevant. It's relevant for criminal prosecution. And we've been talking so far about the audience being the Senate. There's another audience member tonight, and that's Merrick Garland. And Merrick Garland is pretty much the most sober, non-political person I've met in this town. And I think he's always going to do what's right. But boy, I think he probably, if he had his druthers, wouldn't want to have to prosecute Donald Trump. And the evidence today suggests that might actually be a hard thing for him to reach, a decision not to prosecute. And so, you know, there's multiple different proceedings and things going on here. It's not just an audience of, of 100 people in the Senate. There's also the criminal audience, as well as, of course, the eyes of history. And I do think, what we saw today and yesterday is stuff people 100 years from now are going to be reading and remembering. And I sure hope that the senators, particularly the Republican senators, reflect on that before they vote.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.